A very good morning and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for your greatest support. Now, fellow Kenyans, there is something that is going to happen or is happening in this country that I would like us to talk about, especially under Iebc. As far as I'm concerned, one thing I believe and one thing I know is that IBC is a body that is supposed to take us through the general election. Any election that is taking place in this country, this is the body that is supposed to oversee the elections and make sure that everything goes on smoothly. And I remember this is the IBC that a lot of people were saying that is going to have a lot of problems based on what has been happening in the past general elections, the stealing of votes, the rigging of votes, and all that. So, if there is a body that was, if there is a group of people that is supposed to be very much careful, is this body, this new party, new body of IBC. But then now you realize that whatever they are doing is different from people's expectation, because our expectation is that we know very well that we expected that being that these guys have learned from the past, then they really need to know, or they really know what they're supposed to do. Even during the vetting, they were told very well that you know very well that we've been having problems with IBC, the chair and the commissioners. So when you're getting into office, you need to make sure that you handle things correctly. So there is something that is surprising. Something is happening here that nobody expected. We know that during the registration of the vote, during the voters' registration, there are only 2-3 things that are supposed to be taken by the IBC from a person. That is the IBC is supposed to scan the ID. Number 2, they're supposed to take fingerprints. I think those are the main things, and perhaps maybe capture photo. But now there is this issue of iris, whereby they're even scanning the eye, and that is what I want us to talk about. At what point now? What has really made the IBC right now to change the tactics and decides to scan the eye of the people that are going to register as voters? Here is my thought. I know, or I think, what I think is that William Ruto really prepares himself, and of course the way they normally say that he's not going to be a one-term president. This is one of the ways of them preparing themselves. Remember, people like Oscar Sudi are saying, up to now they are saying that William Ruto cannot be a one-term president. And they know very well that already people are tired of them. So they have to look for other ways to make sure that they get votes coming 2027. And one of the ways of getting these votes, because they know that nobody will vote for them, is by looking for another alternative or reduce the number of registered voters, because they know very well that the majority of people that are going to register as voters are the Gen Zs and millennials. Now, anything that the Gen Zs and millennials don't agree with, they must rethink. And William Ruto knows very well that for me now to capture, or for me now to make sure that these Gen Zs and millennials don't go and register as voters, let me introduce something that they have to question themselves about. They have to talk about this. This thing must go viral and will stop the registration of voters. You know, scanning of the eye. I was really shocked when I listened to I was reading that, and I was even listening to that issue of IBC deciding to scan the eye. And do you know the excuse they're giving? They're giving an excuse that in case one fails, then it is easy for them to use the eye. So my question is, if they want to use the eye, they have to scan the eye. What of those people who are blind? What of those people who have got eye problem? Because we are living in a country, or we are living in a time, at a time whereby people have got problems with their eyesight. People are wearing glasses every now and then. People's eyes normally people normally cry every day, not because of the pain, but because the tears rolls out of their eyes because of the pain maybe they feel in their eyes. So how come, how are they going to handle that?
Iebc, why are you scanning people's iris for voter registration? Why? I mean, the process has always been very simple. 1, provide your ID, they do the scanning. 2, provide a photo of you, you'll take the photo of that person. Then 3, do the fingerprint biometrics. That has been the process. Why is Iebc scanning people's iris? Huh? Iebc, you better not be taking us through what you call a sham process. Hey, musikuwe mnatupeleka raundi mwenda hapa, because tutakuwa wenda wazimu. You know, I'm even wondering, why is it that our government doesn't even bother to tell us that they've introduced a thing of scanning somebody's iris? And because of what now? Because of what? This better not be a sham process. We are waiting to see.
Now, I dig deep into this, but before that, let me just quickly read for you some of the comments, some of the reactions of Kenyans concerning this issue of scanning, eye scanning. Some people are saying, and that's how most people will be locked out of voting as a result of system failure. Some people are saying so the blind shall be left out. They know the next president. Kindly announce the president by tomorrow. I'm just reading for you some of the comments very quickly. Some are also saying that I'm not a prophet, but I know Omtata. Okay, this guy is talking about Omtata going to court to go against, to stand against, to open a case against this. And then if the registrar of persons doesn't scan iris when issuing IDs, Iebc shouldn't. That is it. If the registrar of IDs did not scan the iris during the issue, when they were issuing the ID, then Iebc has got no moral authority to scan your eyes simply because you want to register as a voter. Another person says that someone is heading to court. Why scan the eye? Someone is heading to court. Why scan the eye? Someone is people saying that tactical. This will reduce the number of applicants. This Kenya. After all, this chairman will announce Sugoi again. Of course, we are seeing that happening. Someone is also saying that capturing even what they won't use on voter authentication. Soon they will be like, please smile, blink twice, and recite your KCP index number for verification. And then someone is also saying here that someone is also saying here that then after decide for us who is the president, iris or pupil. So itakuwa voting via internet. Okay. I wonder, I'm not a robot. Let me just read the last one. This one is saying that wale walikuwa this one is saying that wale walimulikwa macho sometimes back, those are pending votes. Now, those are just comments from people. I was really looking at this thing, and truth of the matter is that this thing of eye scanning is not in the constitution. And if the government is introducing this, then it means that they've changed the 2010 constitution. Because according to the constitution, this is what the constitution says, that Iebc is required before deploying new election technology to do a requirement analysis and prepare feasibly reports. Number 2, the regulations also mandates that the election tech be accessible and inclusive, including persons with disabilities. I've just asked, what about wale ambao hawaoni? They require, number 3, they require transparency, e.g. public notice, inviting stakeholders to audit and test and audit certification. The last one is that they require information security, safeguard confidential integrity, availability of data. And therefore, If IEBC introduces iris scanning system, they must still comply with the processes spelled out in these regulations. Procurement, testing, audit, transparency, security. When introducing or upgrading the technology, remember this one is not in the constitution. Now, what is it that is in the Election Act or the election law? The Election Act 2011, as amended, gives IEBC power to adapt such technology as it is considered appropriate in the electoral process. This one now is in the Election Act. However, the power is not unbounded. It is constrained by the Constitution, e.g. rights, fairness, and by other applicable laws such as data protection. The third one is that the law requires that any election technology conforms to the public procurement regime and the specification development, see election projects regs. Now, is there any judicial proceedings and cases? Some recent Kenyan court cases have helped clarify how biometric data law might be enforced or constrained. But then, WorldCoin Katiba V Tools for Humanity, a high court in Kenya found that collecting iris and facial biometric data without proper legal basis and in violation of the DPA was unlawful and ordered deletion of the data. Remember, during the WorldCoin, a lot of people went to scan their eyes simply because they wanted money. It was shut down by the court. In the case, lack of DPIA and absence of consent and registration with ODPC were among the issues. And the last one, the court have signaled that every power technologies like iris scanning must respect the Constitution and data protection framework. I've just mentioned that this thing really needed a lot of consultation. Like, you can't just wake up in the morning and say that now you want to scan people's eyes because you're preparing for the election. But then, is there anything that these guys are planning? Like, what is being planned? In the upcoming continuous voters registration, that is the CVR, the IEBC will not only scan the national ID and capture the fingerprints and a photo, but also capture the iris for the first time. The word is for the first time. It means that it has never been tried anywhere. It is only going to be tried in Kenya. Number two, the idea is that the iris becomes a third biometric modality in addition to fingerprint and face, to strengthen identification and reduce duplication of fraud. So I want to ask, who can duplicate someone's fingerprint? Who can duplicate someone's face, or who can duplicate someone's ID? You know, some of the thinking that or the way these guys are reasoning sometimes, you just sit down and ask yourself, is it really what we ordered? Like, seriously, what are these guys talking about? And then the last one is they also intend to auto-scan details from the ID card, ID number, name, etc. to reduce human input error. Are you seeing? That is why I started by saying, and I'll keep on saying, that William Ruto is a very smart guy. He knows very well that he has lost it. So the only way to get that which he has lost is by introducing something that is harmful to Kenyans. And they know very well that Kenyans must complain, because of course we have to complain. They know very well that there must be complaint. The Gen Zs must complain, the millennials must complain about this, and after complaining they will not go to register. You see? So that is where now is going to, because Ruto anajua watu ni wengi, vijana ni wengi sana. Vijana ambao hawajiwakilisha ni wengi sana. And then I also looked at why is it that the IEBC might want to do this. And number one, I found out that they were talking about improved accuracy, whereby stronger biometric verification. And they continue by saying that fingerprints and facial photos have been used, but they are not foolproof. How long have we used the photos and the fingerprints? So right now is when the government is realizing that this thing is foolproof. But then when it was when we were doing, when the registration was being done back then, it was not a problem. This guy is supposed to stop playing with us. Number two, he's talking about reduce human error. I don't know how that manual entry system. I really don't know how that one will ponder and all that. And then the third one is detect duplicate registrations. There is no one who can register twice. Once you are in the system as a person that has registered, it is very difficult. You can't register twice. You see, it is in fact, it is not even next to impossible. It is impossible to register twice. So these issues that these guys are talking about are the duplicates of impersonation of some reasoning. Some reasoning is like another one is detect duplicate registration. I think that I talked about, and then also the boost credibility, whereby, or public confidence, whereby they're saying that in tightly contest elections, having a more advantageous biometric system may help strengthen confidence in voters' registration. Still, we are not convinced. And then the last one is modernization and alignment with global trend, whereby they're talking about many countries are gradually adopting multimodal biometric fingerprints, iris, face. Many countries are gradually. So we have to also look at this thing this way. How many countries are gradually? That is the question. How many countries are doing this but gradually? And then now we come to ours. What is ours doing? Ours is not even doing it gradually or biometric. It's not even thinking that these things are supposed to be handled this way. Ni ile tu wanaenda kuenda. So IBC is going to put ourselves, is really going to put us into problems. And those who have not registered as voters, it will be very difficult for them to go out, because they will be saying that hata nikienda kutakuwa na mabadiliko. I've seen such kind of donations and such kind of talks, because everybody believes and everybody knows that there is nothing that William Ruto can do at the moment. The only thing that he can do is now to look for loopholes. How he can acquire this, how he can do this, how he can manipulate this team for him to be re-elected. But kama sio hiyo, this guy cannot. I'm sure that William Samoei Ruto right now, if he vies with anybody, he cannot win. People have completely lost hopes. People have completely lost trust and hope in this guy. So you saying that you want to vote for this guy, it's like, and then the IBC right now is really working so hard to make sure that their boss William Ruto is a two-term president, not a one-term as people used to say. After all, guys, that is just my thought, and that is all I have for now. I would also like you to tell me what you think at the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and also don't forget to share. Until we meet again, I've been your host, Bonfesa Wino. Bingo.